So my girlfriend, F26, and I, M29, found out in August that we were going to be parents to our first child. Generally, everyone was very happy about the news. However, because of the shock I felt at the time, it wasn't planned. I called my mother for reassurance and it helped. She wasn't happy I told her over a phone call, which I understand and am likely an off for. I apologized and we put it behind us. My sister has been supportive. She helped us move to a new house, wanted to take my partner out baby shopping in a few weeks. However, my mother was less helpful. We had a FaceTime mid-August about housing options. Then my mother randomly asked me about if my partner was on the pill. I said yes, and I've seen her take it, and she asked if I was sure. Almost like she was insinuating that I was baby trapped. I have had worries about my sister. I'm happy she's excited, but I feel sometimes she's too much. She was talking about having the baby every weekend so we could do stuff as a couple, and I said we have to consider both families. She was also concerned about us moving a bit closer to my girlfriend's family than mine. She said I wouldn't get as much support and questioned the support from my partners as her mother lives 2 hours away. I said she comes down every weekend to look after her mother with dementia. We'll be fine. My sister offered to pay for our gender reveal scan. We both thought this was a lovely gesture and said yes. My sister understandably wanted to come because she's paying for it. My sister told me that the one she was booking allowed up to 5 people to come and suggested we bring my mom along. I then said if she's coming, then my girlfriend's mom should come too. She disagreed because it's the only involvement they'll have during the pregnancy and my girlfriend's family will be at other events. We said it's not about who we're including, it's about having support during a personal appointment, and my girlfriend doesn't want only all my family there. My mom previously said either it's just my family or no scan. I said fine, we'll pay for it ourselves. My sister then messaged my girlfriend to explain her reasoning, which left her in tears. She also said my family like to do things separate and they're a bit antisocial. They think meeting my girlfriend's mom at the scan will be awkward. We think this kind of reasoning is selfish and not putting our wishes first. My mom and sister are getting me to understand their reasoning. I do understand it, I just don't agree with it. My girlfriend's mom isn't bothered by them not wanting her there, just more by how it's affected us. She told me not to worry about them and hugged me. She said she's happy to pay for it and for me to invite whoever I want. This is a post here because despite many agreements about our side of things, I have doubt because my sister was going to pay for it. And I was considering my dad, but my girlfriend's mom believes that would anger my family. Ida? More info, to elaborate on a few things. The phone call with my mom. It wasn't an initial reaction of how dare I tell her on the phone. She was happy, said congrats based on if we were deciding to keep it at the time. It was only found out she wasn't too happy when we recorded my sister's reaction, and at this event, I told my mother that I was driving to my dad's to see him the next day. My mom doesn't think my dad does enough for me. We see each other rarely in person, maybe like once or twice a year, but we get on fine. It was his first time being a grandfather and my mother's 4th time. My sister has 3 kids already. She's desperate for a 4th of her own, but my bill keeps telling her no. My mom, when I mentioned this, suggested just FaceTiming him, but I said no, and then she said so he gets a live surprise and I get a phone call? I told her I needed initial support and sorry she found out this way. People have asked what's the situation with my dad. Him and my mom have been divorced for 24 years. He wasn't the kindest to my mother at the time, and I had a stepmother who kept driving a wedge between my dad and I, who has been out of the picture for a few years now. I've told him about this situation and he thinks they're being ridiculous. I get people telling me I need a backbone, and yeah, it's something I've worked harder in therapy to get over. To provide a little backstory, I was an impressionable kid who was suspected of autism at a young age. My mom refused to take me to get assessed because she felt at the time that I should learn alongside the other neurotypical kids. This obviously didn't work because I constantly questioned myself, and with the aid of people like my sister reminding me of little mistakes I made, it continued to knock my confidence back. It was only until a breakup, which happened when I was 23, and a downward spiral of depression, did I get more help. Doctors said I didn't have autism but more anxiety. Mom and sister insist I do because they think I'll get more support. But linking it with stuff in this post, it feels like grooming. And I have pushed back on several occasions to just let me be. I'd get comments about how something I did was an autistic thing, which I said stop too. My sister has 2 kids diagnosed with autism and 1 kid with ADHD, and she works for an autism charity. I went on Prozac after being diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I was also with an ex at a different time and saw subtle controlling methods through that, and we didn't work out afterwards. That was something my family helped me through, but I'm getting that narcissistic people can often not get along with other narcissistic people because they'll try and expose the other person to make themselves look better. So my growing up was conflicted because on one hand, there was nitpicking and on the other, care that seemed genuine. My mom has also suffered abusive relationships and grieved through the death of a partner, so I pinned weird behavior on that. Same with my sister, who had a stillbirth. There's a comment somewhere in here which explains a list of stuff my sister did a few years ago which stopped her going to my mom and stepdad's wedding. And now I'm with a beautiful human being to start a family with, and while it's a shame my family couldn't be cooperative and understanding, she and our baby come first and we need each other first and foremost. No one is dictating to us about who cares for them or anything else. I called my mom out for what she said about the baby trap. She apologized to me but not to my partner, who overheard the conversation. Ever since then she's been distant. Writing this now, I'm wondering to myself why I'm even letting her come to the scan if my partner's mom comes after her behavior. My mom backpedals a lot, says something that would annoy or upset someone and then says it was a joke. I have since told her there was backpedaling but she's denied it. My mom's weird views on separating from my partner's family stems from her own anxiety, I believe. We believe she's on the spectrum but she's in denial about it. We've seen moments of her having some sensory overload moments, being obsessed with specific topics, mostly conspiracy theories, lack of a filter at times and struggle to see things from others' point of view. My sister, I believe, wants to be seen as the best guardian, very possibly parents, and sees her family as a threat. Update 1. My sister's reaction to me setting my boundaries. Hi all, quick update, but a fair bit has happened in the last 24 hours, and it isn't good. First of all, thank you to everyone for your advice. I took it on board. Especially the stuff about setting our boundaries now and not taking any more manipulation. There was some people questioning the need for a reveal scan. We just thought it would be nice for our first child. I understand that's not for everyone's liking, but that's what we want to do. Anyway, my sister called me on Sunday. I explained that my girlfriend should be allowed to have whomever she wants there. She reiterated the awkwardness of it at the scan, so I suggested a coffee meetup which she said she'd chat to my mom about. My mom turned it down and said it was too formal. In her words, I'm sure I'll meet them someday. She suggested we have 2 separate scans for each of the family. I turned this down because I thought it was gross. My girlfriend is not a test subject for other people's enjoyment. Then I said we'll book our own and invite who we want or have it just us. She then turned passive aggressive and said fine, you do what you want. I've been nothing but supportive and my girlfriend is gonna want her family there for everything. I said this isn't true. She said she wants both families involved. Knowing that they'd continue to try and make offers for the scan, I sent them a long message to both of them in a group chat. I've added the screenshots on the Insane Siblings subreddit which you can see on my profile. And as you can see in the reply from my sister, she attempted to gaslight me into feeling bad. After she said we part ways, I blocked her on everything. I'm not having that kind of influence in my life and certainly not subjecting my girlfriend to it. Especially if they're not going to respect our boundaries. My mom called me a short time after and told me my message was condescending, cold and formal and didn't understand why I was overreacting about the scan. Told me to not interrupt. Even a message I sent to her which was among the same lines as the one in the screenshot. I told her it's not just about the scan, it's about her over-involvement in general. Clearly my sister left details out because she didn't know about my sister wanting to look after the baby every weekend and being insecure about the support from my girlfriend's family. She said we should all meet up to chat. I'm not having them bully me though. If I'm there to chat, I'm having someone in my corner. She said she didn't want us arguing, but I said the ball is in my sister's court. My mom is attempting to play peacekeeper and has sided with my sister's erratic behavior, so neither of them I really trust. As for the scan, my girlfriend and I have booked our own scan and we're having a reveal party next weekend where everyone is welcome. Although right now, I'm not inviting my mom and sister. I've explained the situation to my dad and he's disgusted at them. My sister and I have different dads. Edit, sorry I forgot to add, you're right that I should not have apologized to my mom for how I broke the news to her. She often comments on how my dad doesn't come down to see me and it's mostly me going up there. My dad and I do talk and when I go up there, he often wants to pay for everything, no questions asked. I don't take this for granted, of course. I get rounds of beer into or chip in for the takeaway. Either way, I'm happy with the relationship my dad and I have. We've had issues in the past, but we move forward. Also re-uploaded a screenshotted text message reply from my sister to my profile since it keeps getting taken down on the sub for spam. Although Reddit kept blanking the images, so I've added an Imgur link in them. Text, hi both, just wanted to update you on the scan. We've booked one ourselves. And who goes depends on who wants to come. This isn't something has said, this is something I've told as she's the one carrying the baby, and she wants support from both families, but arguments about something we should be in charge of have made it difficult. It's our time and our family we're starting, we should be the ones making decisions. Trying to convince us to change our minds after we turn down the extra conditions, without any compromise over meeting beforehand, hasn't been appreciated. It's overstepping if I'm honest. We haven't talked much, Mom, but from what's been discussed, I assume you both share the same viewpoint. Any future events such as the shower events will be one event for each where close friends and family can come. You're still welcome to come, including the reveal we have after the scan next weekend. We're not doing 2 separate events for each family. Not only is it more money but more time spent setting up multiple events / attending them, and I see no reason why either family has to be excluded from events that and I are involved the family, and I are creating. You may not spend time with family but that's for different reasons. You don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I get on fine with family, I may fall out with 1 or 2 people, who knows? And Mom gets on fine with family. Other members of the family also have no issue being in their company. This is more of a personal issue than it is an unwritten rule. And if you don't want to go to these events because family might be there, then don't. Shame to not see you there. But these events are for our child, not to appease everyone else. You don't have to talk to her family, just be there for us and respect what we want to do. These issues of shutting out her family is creating concern for what happens when the baby arrives. You've said before about how we'll get better support from my family than hers. It's not a contest of who can provide the best support. The best support the child can get is from us, the parents. I'm not deciding which family is the best. I respect and love each person individually. And would like support from her family too. It feels like unfair judgment is being placed on them without actually knowing them. And please do not text about this stuff, or talk to me about this. This is creating stress that she doesn't need being pregnant and that isn't good for the baby. She was in tears when she read your message, as we just want this pregnancy to go smoothly. If we are being told what we should be doing in regards to our own baby, then that's not influence we want to have. We appreciate support, but we don't want over-involvement in this. This is what we want and what makes us happy. Please respect that. The sister. Well, what a stab in the gut. I can't breathe with how much I'm crying. So cold. You have interpreted so many things incorrectly, but there you go. I hope everything works out for you. I will always love you, but I think this is where we part ways. 20. Update 2. When your mom enables your sister's actions. For more context, I have posted a story on Ida and the message I sent to both of them following the advice I was given from both the subreddit as well as my dad and my girlfriend. Initially, this sparked because my sister wanted to pay for a gender reveal scan for both of us, which we initially said yes to, and then later wanted my mom to come, and I said no because it's all my family in the room and none of my girlfriends, which I don't think it's fair. My sister tried to convince me, saying it's something special that they get a chance to be involved with because my girlfriend will mostly have her family involved with the rest. We haven't excluded them from anything at all. They just don't want to associate with my girlfriend's family in any capacity. I set my boundaries out in the message yesterday, saying we just want everyone to be included. We're not asking anyone to be friends. Immediately got told that my message was cold and that I made her cry, as well as us parting ways. This isn't the first time she's reacted like this. She showed troubling behavior in regards to the whole pregnancy. Said hurtful things to me a few years ago when she became addicted to medical pills, like me not crying at her daughter's funeral. She had a stillbirth and I was 16. Clearly a troubling time, but not healthy for me. Pressed on me getting an autism diagnosis, including that I have way more struggles compared to everyone else. If I made any little mistake, like drop a sweet wrapper on the floor or use my auntie's show towels to try by mistake, she'd chew me out for it. I've talked about all of this in therapy, specifically CBT. What was always conflicting was genuine help she'd give, as well as my mom many times. But it always felt like something was wanted in return, because if I ever said no to something, she'd reiterate that she does everything for me and would call me selfish if I didn't. I wasn't the best. I'd forget birthday gifts mainly. When being an adult, she'd ask for money and had a go at me because I was concerned about her constantly asking. She said if I gave her money, I could consider it her other daughter's birthday present. She has 3 kids. My mom, on the other hand, had a bad relationship with my father, which I was told was abusive. I saw signs, but it's something my father denies when I've asked him. They divorced when I was 5. It's just strange that at this time, it's my dad putting no pressure on me whatsoever and saying my baby, my choice. She had another partner who was also abusive and lasted for about 4 years, later had a partner who died of a drug overdose, and now has been married to my stepdad for 8 years. I can get life was difficult for her. I was a messy child. I couldn't use the kitchen to cook a lot out of avoiding making a mess, and everything had to be pristine. If I felt I wasn't being listened to and I tried to make a point, she'd shut me down and say I don't want to argue. She would complain if I asked to be picked up from anywhere, so my sister often did it. Any school trip where the kids' parents needed to accompany them, she'd completely avoid, and I was there on my own and another parent had to look after me. She forgot to pick me up from school a few times because she was napping. She didn't like a friend I hung out with and told me to tell him he was not welcome to a gig we were going to. His parents hated me after that. Even as an adult, if I'm upset by something she's done, she'll half apologize, call me and say, "Are you calm now?" A friend of the family died and left his house to my mom and his her 2 sisters in her will. They sold it. One of my aunties gave £5,000 to her 2 kids. My sister questioned this and told me that my mom said she's put it towards us as a rainy day fund. I don't even know what to believe from my sister, tbh. My mom hasn't even told me about the money. It's not about the money, it's about the lack of trust and treating me like an idiot. Fast forward to now. My mom rung me yesterday after I sent the message to them both, said my message was condescending, asked what the big deal about the scan is. My sister must have called her and failed to mention the pressure to get us to change our minds and all the other stuff. She genuinely believes my sister's text despite them falling out a few years ago, because my sister stole £5,000 off her card to buy random stuff, stole £200 off my nan for prescription drugs off the internet, wanted to use my mom's house for her affair with someone, and other hurtful things said. My mom wanted me to meet her and my sister for a coffee to sort this out, but there's nothing to sort out except an apology and accepting our boundaries, and they can't even do that. Update 3. A few more updates. Since my last update, both my mum and sister have contacted me via text. I borrowed £50 from my sister to help fix my car. My girlfriend and I spent a lot of time moving and my tire blew. Good timing. I said I'd pay her back on payday, which was Thursday. Her text asked me for the money back and also said I sent that money and I have kids to feed. Basically trying to make me out to be a thief. I suspected it was to try and get a reaction out of me, but I silently paid her back the money and left it at that. I want my distance from her, but I'm not a thief. Then she texted my girlfriend, even though in my long message I added on Imgur to both of them. I explicitly told them not to message her in regards to this stuff. The message said she hopes the scan went well, she thinks it was this weekend for some reason, even though she was originally going to book it for the 15th and we have it booked for the 15th. She also told her not to be upset about any of this and wants us both to be happy. I suspect that she's fishing for information and it's clear she cares more about the baby than our own relationship. My girlfriend hasn't responded. My nan texted me earlier in the week. Because of the issues with Reddit uploading my images, I'll post the contents of the chat here. I hardly ever involve myself, but I love you all and want to put it right. Before, sister, knew all the people in school. I went to every meeting with her. She feels socially shy meeting new people. So like mom, I was her comfort blanket. They now stepped back. Please mend this rift. I think she realizes that. You need space. She.s breaking her heart. Hold out your hand. Her intentions were good. You made your point. But she adores you and thinks a lot of my girlfriend. My love to you both always. Please mend this rift for me xxxxxx. I left it a day, but I replied back that it's not my men to rift. I don't want any breakups in the family, but I want my space. They've hurt me and controlled me too many times and I'm not putting up with it anymore. My nan replied saying she understands and won't take sides. My mum messaged me yesterday morning saying she hopes I'm okay and also thinking the scan was this weekend, saying she's away so wouldn't be able to make it. She wanted to come but is now away lol. She wanted to catch up in the week and talk. Nothing more than that, but it doesn't look like either of them have any remorse for the way they've behaved.